to our first meeting of January 2020. Roll call, please, Mr. Crowdy.
Mr. Accomando?
Present.
Ms. Borelli? Ms. Ianello?
Here.
Mr. Laurentino?
Present.
Ms. Mahoney?
Here.
Mr. Quinn?
Here.
Ms. Robinson?
Here.
Ms. Roloff?
Here.
Ms. Zottarelli?
Present.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. At this time, please be advised that all cell phones and electronic devices are to be turned off. We'll start right in with the superintendent's report. And first, I just want to say welcome back. It is great to have you at our meeting.
Thank you. I do not have a formal report for this evening. I took some advice from a friend when I said I'm not quite sure what I want to say tonight. She said, "Oh, just speak from your heart." First, I'd like to start with thank you to the Board of Education for accommodating me during a very difficult and traumatic medical emergency that nobody ever anticipated. I certainly didn't. But I'd also like to thank Tony Violetti for filling in for me. I understand she did an incredible job, and I'm very grateful to have her by my side to help. Coming back to work is always difficult after a long period. You're not quite sure how you feel. You're excited to get back into work. You're a little nervous. Well, how will things be? But I am surrounded by some of the most amazing professionals and people I've ever known, my administrative team and the teachers and the paraprofessionals, Secretaries Association, my central office, all of whom, the Board of Education, parents, some students, all of whom reached out to me and sent me emails and flowers and gifts and messages of kindness and well wishes and prayers, and just it was really humbling and at the same time very helpful in my recovery. So I'm just incredibly grateful and still honored to be your superintendent, and look forward to a long, healthy life, which the doctor promises me I will have. So that's all I wanted to share with you this evening, and I will have a formal superintendent's report, and my board attorney, of course. I will have a formal superintendent's report with all the good happenings from the kids and the buildings on Wednesday.
Thank you. Mr. Crowdy, the business administrator report, please.
Sure. Just one or two items. The security vestibules for the 4 schools are complete. They're operational. I didn't get out and check them all yet. I've been a little bogged down. We just have to install 2 speakers, one at Long School and one at Washington School, but otherwise they're functioning now, which is great. And the security gates here at the high school, we had additional ones installed. We're just waiting for a final inspection before they could also be operational. So we're getting there, which is great news. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crowdy. Okay, we'll go to the agenda items for board discussion. Okay, for board action items, is there any questions or discussion concerning B60 through B62? B. Right, under board action items. Okay.
Actually, I have a question on that. On B68.
Excuse me, which one?
E, I'm sorry, E.
B is in board.
We didn't get that far. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Sorry.
Yes.
You said B60 to B62?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, that'll be done in closed session tonight.
And through the chair?
Yes?
Okay, so I had a question about B61, but Ray said he would give the attachment to the statement of assurance, but I didn't get a chance to look at that. Real quick, could you just,
Explain that?
yeah, please?
Twice a year, we have to provide assurance to the county office, and the link is on there now, but there was 3 questions that we meet with state regulatory requirements for all our paraprofessionals. And we, checked off the boxes that, yes, we do for their job descriptions and certain classifications. I think this was done it might be done in September, but it's also done now, but twice a year.
Okay, thank you.
They have has a lot of statement of assurances now. You'll see another one on facilities that was never we ever had before. So there's a lot more. I guess they have to collect these papers signed off by the superintendent.
Okay, thank you.
All right, going to education and curriculum, E68 through E71.
Through the chair, I have a question. Can I
Yes.
ask at this time? E71, approved single session days for middle school and high school conferences. On December 2nd, which I was a little disappointed to hear, that this is a reminder we no longer have high school parent-teacher conferences. If you have any concerns or would like to meet with your child's teacher, feel free to email the teacher and make an appointment at your convenience. So I'm a little confused here when this says high school and middle school, and then I get a email, do not reply, that we are no longer having high school conferences.
So that was a negotiated teacher contract item. The reason that they're asking for the half-days is because sometimes when you live something, then you realize what maybe the challenges are. If we require the high school to stay a full day and conduct conferences, then we have a school building full of adults
Correct.
and still have students in the building. So we're going to have the high school teachers work on either a curriculum or link it or some other professional development at that time. But just to shorten the day for all of the students in the building, so we don't have some students in the building with adults who we don't necessarily know walking through the halls.
Okay, so there will be no high school.
Right, no.
So then that needs to be, that's just for the early dismissal, is that what that is?
Yes, it's just for the early dismissal. And then if
Okay.
you want to meet with your child's teacher, your high school child's teacher, you can do so if necessary on a prep or whenever you would normally meet with a teacher.
So after 12:25 that day, will they be available if we want to make an appointment prior? You said they'll be working on.
They're going to be working on curriculum or professional development for our benchmarking tool, so they should be engaged in some form of official professional development. It doesn't have to be on that day. You could meet with them on another day, if that works for you.
And there will still be middle school conference?
Yes, there will.
Okay. Well, it's negotiated, not much I could really do about it, but thank you.
Just for the paycheck.
I do have a question.
Yes?
Yes, no, I know. Okay. On E68, for the field trips, why is white on there 3 times? For the ski trips, the ski club?
They're just different dates. So when you put them into the system, they have different numbers, which is on the left, the ID number.
So he's going 3 different times?
Yeah, whatever's listed there. They go about 3 or 4 times each year. After school.
That's after school.
Through the chair, that's not during school hours, though.
Correct. Oh, okay.
It is actually an excellent deal for our students,
During school
however.
hours.
I know where you're going with that.
Didn't understand that. Okay.
We just leave the dates off for security.
That's fine. I understand.
Any other questions concerning education and curriculum? Seeing none, we'll move on to finance, budget, and facilities. Might as well start, Mr. Crotty, is there anything you would like to address in the beginning?
Sure, since we didn't have a Budget Finance Facility Committee meeting for this meeting, I'll just review and answer any board's questions. So the first few items, the workshops, bill list, and the financial reports are routine. The facility use. 231 is the statement of insurance I mentioned before for the health and safety checklist, which is about a, 15-page document for each school. The county will review that next year when we're under CUSAC. 232 and 233 was the audit report. The auditor was here on Monday the 6th to give the report. We each have a copy of it, and the corrective action was to correct the one item, the one recommendation. 234 was one item out of, I think I had about 9 budget appropriation adjustments, and this one slipped through the cracks, so they just wanted me to note in the minutes, so it all proves out. 235, I'm still putting together, I think I'm going to have 2 student accounts that I'm asking you to waive the balances that are due. So I'm trying to have that for tomorrow. If not, I'll pull it off the agenda. And 236 is for our payroll office to help with some of the quarterly and annual reports. That's an agreement with NRESC, and I'll discuss the payroll office in closed session later. Any questions on any of the above items?
Through the chair, on F-235, is the reason I couldn't access the exhibit because there were students' names on it?
I don't have the exhibit done yet.
Oh, okay.
So I said it might be 1 or 2 if I have them ready by tomorrow. If not, I'll pull that item off the agenda.
Through the chair, I have a question for F-226. May I speak at this time?
Yes. Can you just speak up a little louder? I'm having trouble hearing you.
Me? Okay.
I asked for
I'm
it now.
intentionally speaking low because I am so loud all the time. Okay, yes, just question. World Baseball Coaches Convention workshop for 2 coaches. One is for 2:45, one is for 7:15.
I'm sorry, where are you?
Cost being, the workshop, you know, you have.
Oh, okay, going back to workshop, okay.
So the-
226.
The baseball
That's what I think,
conventions, what are they for?
So it's my understanding that these coaches attend this convention and have attended this convention every year. So it's a coaching convention.
For baseball coaches?
Yes.
Well, what about football, basketball, soccer, you know,
There have some
There
been...
have been some, they're not all the same, depends upon who's doing the offering for the workshops. These 2 in particular, one person, I don't know, I'd have to look back and see why they're different.
It says here, the double asterisk, previously approved cost being revised for hotel cost for 3 coaches.
Because it's in Connecticut.
Right. No,
And I
I
believe-
understand.
I believe the other coach, I think there's 3 total. One was approved, I'm trying to look it up, in December.
Okay.
And the one coach has the hotel costs under his, that's why his is higher.
Oh, okay. So shared space.
Do they report back on it, or?
They have to. Anytime anybody goes anywhere on a workshop, you have to submit a written, summary of the workshop, evidence that you attended the workshop, et cetera. Receipts, whatever.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on finance, budget, facilities, or the workshops? Okay, we do not have any policy or negotiations tonight. We'll be doing personnel in closed. We have no liaison reports. Is there any correspondence for tonight? Any old business?
Yes, through the chair, I wasn't sure if I would ask this question during budget or now. Back in, I think, September, we told people in the audience that we would revisit the busing. It's 5 months now, and I don't think we've done any of that. All right, is that something we're going to do, or?
Well, that was, actually, they re-looked at it over the summer.
No, we said,
And
you
it
told,
will be addressed again in budget.
yeah, but you told them in September we would revisit it. It's been 5 months and we haven't,
That will be in budget. Nothing new has arrived in this year's budget to have any chance of being able to do that. So, yes, that would be in budget. And policy, I'm sorry.
budget and policy?
No,
Policy. All right, can I bring up policy real quick? In our middle school, we don't have a retention policy. So if a child fails, they just be pushed right to the high school, I believe. Is that correct?
No, I believe we do.
Because,
I believe we do.
okay, well, we'll have to discuss that during close because we were told we don't have one
Don't have one, period?
for our middle school students.
We'll talk about, yeah, we'll
Okay.
talk about that.
Thank you for bringing that to the attention. Any other, where are we? Old business? New business, I just sent out the draft of the committee and liaisons for your perusal. Is there any other new business or questions on the committees? Seeing none, may we have a motion to open the meeting for public comments?
Second.
All in favor? Sorry about that. Residents are requested to state their names, addresses, and subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement by a participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered, and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by the members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments, and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments.
Amy Higgins, 228 Saddle River Road. I just wanted to thank Ms. Violetti and the administration and the staff for addressing, the issue that my son had with his tree nut allergy. A child was eating in class next to him, and
To our first meeting of January 2020. Roll call, please, Mr. Crowdy.
Mr. Accomando?
Present.
Ms. Borelli? Ms. Ianello? Here. Mr. Laurentino? Present. Ms. Mahoney?
Here.
Mr. Quinn?
Here.
Ms. Robinson?
Here.
Ms. Roloff?
Here.
Ms. Sardarelli?
Present.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. At this time, please be advised that all cell phones and electronic devices are to be turned off. We'll start right in with the superintendent's report, and first, I just want to say welcome back. It is great to have you at our meeting.
Thank you. I do not have a formal report for this evening. I took some advice from a friend when I said, I'm not quite sure what I want to say tonight, and she said, oh, just speak from your heart. First, I'd like to start with thank you to the Board of Education for accommodating me during a very difficult and traumatic medical emergency. And nobody ever anticipated. I certainly didn't. But I'd also like to thank Tony Violetti for filling in for me. I understand she did an incredible job, and I'm very grateful to have her